Hey, Angie Fenimore here, and this is Phat Chat with my writing coach. Okay, we're going to talk about accountability and how that can just completely throw you off the rails if you're a rebel like me, make you dig your heels in so that you don't do anything. I hate accountability partners. I absolutely do so much better when I'm just competing with myself, I tell you. But then there are some of you who really thrive with accountability. You know, you do really well when you hire a trainer or a coach. Okay. I do really well if I hire a trainer or a coach and then I'm out to prove them wrong. Okay. Like I just went and saw my doctor. I'm diabetic. I'm not on insulin. I just take, one medication. And I was just like begging him for insulin so that I could keep eating cherry chocolate brioche and all the stuff that I've been baking lately. I mean, I'm a potato stuffing, um rice, pasta, bread fiend. That's what I love. And I've been really struggling. So A1C was 11.1. Not good. Okay. And when I was diagnosed, I told him, I'm taking this on. You watch. And so I had my A1C and I don't know where it was, but it was up there. It was like past 11.1. And so I went back. It wasn't even 3 months. And typically, you're going to get your A1C tested no sooner than 3 months, because what the A1C does is it tracks your progress over time. Okay. So you're not going to get an accurate number if you keep going back and getting it. It's only valuable if you do it once every 3 months. I knocked that all the way down to 6 something. Okay. Like in the normal range in 3 months, which is unheard of. Okay. So I'm back at the doctor. Bad girl. And I tell him straight up, yep, I've been awful. And he's like, what do you think it's at? And I think it's between 11 and 12. They test it. And so I'm like, can we just talk about insulin? Can we talk about medications? So that pretty much I can be lazy. And he says, well, yeah, sure. Let's get the pharmacist in here. So in comes the pharmacist. And he tells me about all the different categories of medication and just how expensive they are, by the way. Like $1,000 a month for this one that's supposed to be a miracle drug that will only knock my A1C down a point. Okay. And I'm like, well, it's probably cheaper to just go for a walk every day, don't you think? He's like, yeah. And then he clues me in. He says, actually, before I came in, your doctor told me don't give her anything because I've seen her do this. She can do anything. Well, what has me be able to do anything and do this miraculous thing around, my blood sugar levels is I like to prove the impossible. I like to be the one that does something that nobody can do. It really works for rebels. Yeah, watch me. That's what works for me. Okay, so different people respond differently to expectations. Gretchen Rubin, who is, I believe she's a sociologist, but she's extraordinary. She wrote this book. It's called The Four Tendencies. We use her quiz in my courses, okay? Because just like with all personality tests, and you should know my background is in preclinical psychology, all personality tests kind of divide people into a category of 4. It's like there's 4 categories. And this is just like that. It just tends to be the way people are. Okay. And so one of those categories is rebel. And the way a rebel responds to expectations, internal expectations and external expectations, like you tell me to do it or I tell me to do it, is like, I don't think so. Okay. That's a rebel. There's questioners. Questioners have to have all of their questions answered before they'll respond to internal or external expectations. And then there's upholders. And upholders respond to internal and external expectations, no problem. Okay? They love to do that. And they're the ones scratching their heads at the rest of us. Like, really? You joined the gym and you're not going? What's wrong with you? Okay, that's an upholder. And then there's obligers. Now, obligers are by far, they represent the largest section of the population. Rebels 4%. Okay, obligers, that's most of us. Now, obligers don't respond to internal expectations, but they do respond to external expectations. So an obliger, you can just say, okay, knock out 3 chapters. They work really, really, really well with accountability partners or with coaches, okay? They excel. They do exceptionally well there. All right, so knowing what your tendency is gives you a little bit of an edge because you recognize it when you're actually just digging in to dig in for no reason. And I mean, digging your heels in and doing nothing, right? You recognize it when you're doing it, okay? A questioner will often question the results of the test even and just say, I don't think so. I think I'm an upholder. I don't think so. That just doesn't sound like me. Well, if you're asking and you're saying, I don't think the results are accurate, and you got questioner, you're a questioner. Okay, point is, so we're doing Craft That Draft, which I've talked about a little bit, okay? One of the elements of Craft That Draft 30-day challenge to finish your manuscript in 30 days, a whole draft. And by the way, you can do it with anything. You can take a project that you've already been working on. You can take a project that's like in final stages of revision to Craft That Draft 30-day challenge. And it's free, by the way, okay? Bring your project, and one of the first things that I'm gonna have you do is take that test, the Gretchen Rubin Four Tendencies quiz, and find out what your tendency is so that you know what you need to get that draft done. So you obligers will be really happy about this. We have a Facebook group. It's private, it's dedicated just to the Craft That Draft 30-day challengers, where there's support there. Okay, there are other people. If you like a little competition, there are other people who are also cranking out their manuscripts in 30 days. All right, but you get all kinds of tools. I teach you some of the Calliope method that will really give you an edge in productivity and will train you in what you're looking for. Like, have you ever just like written into oblivion and I don't have no idea if this works or not, and then somebody reads it and you find out it doesn't after all that work, right? So that you've got some direction, so that what you're doing, it's not like going to the gym and lifting those weights incorrectly, so it doesn't work. Okay, you get what I'm saying there? Okay, so that your efforts, your energy is not wasted. Because, we all have to scramble to find that time to write. Nobody was gifted with, here you go, all the time that you want to write. I mean, maybe 1 or 2 of you, but that almost never happens, right? Because there's this really interesting thing that happens. As soon as you say, I'm going to write a book, seriously, you start seeing miracles happen. It's like the heavens collude to help you, but then everything else conspires to stop you. It all, just like life will explode. It will. And then you'll meet somebody, like you'll have a random phone conversation with somebody that you wouldn't ordinarily be talking to, and you find out that they've got a piece of this puzzle that you need for your book. It's really crazy what happens, like miracles and everything else, right? Okay, so if you love accountability, this program is built for you. If you're a rebel and you don't want to be told anything, this program is built for you. If you're a questioner and you really want to have all those questions answered before you actually respond to this expectation to finish a draft, this program was built for you. And if you're an obliger and you just like to have will somebody please draw me a line in the sand? There you go. Okay, works for you too. All right. So your challenge tonight, I haven't even thought about what your challenge should be tonight. I'm going to say your challenge should be to take the next step. Let's finish this thing already, right? What else are you going to do with your life? You're going to get a year down the road and you will have taken no steps and you'll be in the same place. Or you can be a year down the road and you will have taken this one step tonight and you will be well on your way, if not published. Okay. All right. So it's kind of like see the future, all right? Look from the future, your future. Stand in your future. So, be visionary AF. Ciao for now.